I have fallen, don't you worry about me. 'Cause I stood up, yes, I have grown. The pain has set me free. And like a broken record in my head.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
I get enough of you. Bright sneakers on, getting ready for a flashback. Time keeps moving on, looking at you, feeling like I could never get enough of you. And I could never get enough of you. I could never get enough of you.
I don't want them, no, get them all off me. Say that for L, she'll cause you see. 4 cars deep, we'll come through on a lane night. Chicken spot, wings and fries, we call that a day night. Lights on, so out, I don't have no stage fright. Knew that I was built for this forever, ever, ever.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
We ride bands, 10 times 10, all my friends, it's for real.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
It's the best of the best. It's the one and only DJ Ice, Louisville's coldest DJ.
What we've got here is transient communicate.
Let's do that again. Welcome to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I am Carl Price, your host, here at the window. Here tonight in Louisville, Kentucky. A little muggy tonight in Louisville, Kentucky, but I'm here. I wanted to come on and talk about hot topics. And really the only hot topic right now is mass shootings, right? One just happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma yesterday. Of course, in Texas, and of course, Buffalo. Got an interesting op-ed opinion and I want to talk about tonight. And of course, your comments are welcome here on Comment Central, here at Conscious Fever. But I want to talk about some of these hot topics and just, if y'all want to churn in. I know it's the first game of the NBA Finals tonight. I'm not sure if it's on right now, but don't let that stop you from enjoying a good night of Conscious Fever. I do not have any red wine tonight. Actually, I do have some, but I can't drink it tonight because it's too far away from me, and I can't reach really to get it. But anyway, Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. If I see you pop on, remember you can comment, and if you comment, I'll comment back. We'll put you on Comment Central. How you doing, my friend Greg Freeman? I saw you pop up there. There you're gone. Okay. There you go. Yeah. But listen, so I want to talk about these mass shootings. And I really want to get y'all's opinion on these because there's something going on with these young boys and their ability to do it. Remember when we were young, those of us who were born in the 60s and the 70s, when we were young, we played with guns, but they were on G.I. Joes, Cowboys and Indians, and different things like that. And we never took it this far. So I'm not sure what kind of world we're living in with these mass shootings. But I'm going to try to make some sense of it and talk about it and see if there's different angles that we can go to probably stop it. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. I don't know. But in any case, again, thanks for joining me. I'm Carl Price, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. And when I come back, we're going to talk about the most recent one. Can you imagine somebody getting upset with their doctor, thinking that surgery will cure the pain, which eventually it probably would have, cured this man's back pain, but not quick enough for the man. And his option is, why don't I just go to my doctor's office and kill him, right? And that's what this dude did in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So anyway, I'm going to step away just very, very briefly. I don't know if I have enough time to pour myself some wine, but if I do, I'm going to pour myself some wine and come back. And then we're going to talk about, I may have enough time to do that, so I may do that anyway. I'll share it with you if you want a glass of wine. Just saying. But anyway, I'm Conscious Fever. This is, you're watching us on ICE Entertainment Television, listening to us on Conscious Fever Radio. Take a quick break, and when I come back, let's talk about the Tulsa shooting. And then, of course, I welcome your comments, and we'll post them here on Comment Central and just have a conversation about them. Be right back.
Conscious Fever, Conscious Fever, Conscious Fever. Tell me what your favorite new show is. If it ain't Conscious Fever, I don't know what you're watching. Check us out every Thursday night, 9 p.m. sharp, right here, only on the Conscious Fever page. Peace and love.
Kayvon Thibodeau, the football player, he didn't just arrive from nowhere. We put a lot of prayer into that boy, especially since he was a kid. I think God blesses people to be a blessing to others. He wants to make sure that he's able to give back.
Yo, check this out. All I am is a man with ambition to be the best. When I failed, it just gave me the vision to see the rest. Wasn't even ready when God gave me the test, so I pray you find love in the pieces of me that's left. Yeah, turn me up. Turn me up. Yeah, I pray you find love in the pieces of me that's left. Feel it in your soul that separates from your flesh. The nights that I cried alone, they taught me best. Anybody shine like this, they mighty blessed. But sometimes you gotta go through the dark to manifest.
Another one of me won't come around.
Hey, Carl Price, Conscious Fever here on ICE Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. We're back. Listen, I want to talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, we talked about Tulsa before for another reason, but tonight I'm just going to mention what obviously is taking place in Tulsa. But yesterday, and I think today, because I don't know there's been a lot of reportings. By the way, I did get my wine. And this is good red wine. I wish I had brought the bottle in here. Can I get the bottle? It's actually Moscato, but it's pretty good. My luck, I'm probably going to knock it over tonight. But in any case, the Tulsa police, in their various news conferences, have said that a man who opened fire inside a doctor's office yesterday, taking 4 victims' lives before taking his own, was actually targeting a doctor he blamed for his back pain. The Tulsa police chief, Wendell Franklin, said the shooter, Michael Lewis, had back surgery 2 weeks ago and complained of ongoing pain, seeking additional treatment. Franklin said that, you know, we grieve with the families after this senseless tragedy. We grieve with the co-workers, and we pray because we all need prayer. Amen. Lewis saw his orthopedic surgeon, this is the shooter, saw his orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Preston Phillips, again on Tuesday, and called seeking more treatment Wednesday before going on the rampage. The police chief there said that they found a letter from the shooter in which he said that he intended to kill his surgeon and anyone who got in his way. Now, the police chief identified the other victims as, and I think we have those victims here. I'm going to try to share it, but this is Dr. Phillips. This is the surgeon that was actually targeted, who actually did the back surgery. And I just think about this, y'all, because I think about the fact that this can happen to anybody in any profession, and it's happened to lawyers before as well. People get disgruntled with the work that had been done, and then they come after who they think is the culprit. but that is Dr. Phillips. One of the other doctors was this lady, Dr. Stephanie. I think this is Stephanie Houston, and she was only 48 years old. This is Amanda Glenn, and of course this other fella is a man by the name of William Love. But you know, all of them were victims of this man. Actually, and Mr. Glenn worked there, and of course Love was a patient. He was just a patient, and just happened to be there and got killed. But the police chief said that the shooter bought the rifle at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, just hours before beginning his shooting spree. The shooter also bought the pistol over the weekend from a pawn shop, according to the police chief. The first 911 call came in at 4:53 p.m. and I don't know if we have that. Let me see. Yeah, here's the timeline. Check this out. 4:53 p.m. and the officers arrived at 4:56 p.m. Now you know why they're saying that, right? They're saying that because of what happened in Texas. But as officers advanced through the medical building, they heard a gunshot, which the police chief said they believe was the self-inflicted shot that took the shooter's life. Police said there were no other injuries from the gunfire, though some were hurt running from the scene, and multiple people were rescued, including a woman found hiding under a desk at the feet of the dead suspect. And again, I want y'all to see who these victims are, because I mean, this is really a tragedy. This doctor was only 59 years old, 1 year younger than I am, 1990 graduate of Harvard Medical School. I'm going to read this here. He completed 2 fellowships at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston in 1986 and 1996. And he earned an advanced degree in organic chemistry and pharmacology. Sad. This doctor here, Dr. Stephanie Houston, was a sports and internal medicine specialist with the Warren Clinic in Tulsa. She graduated from Oklahoma State University Center for Health Services Medical School in 2000. Interesting stuff, y'all. Interesting stuff, and obviously sad. So I want to go back and just, this was, again, this was a search, but I want to go back and just mention the fact that it's interesting. It's really interesting here that they make it very clear what time they arrived, because obviously the police department failed all of those Hispanic children in Texas, right? I think we know that now. And so I think that indicating that timeline that I just showed you all, showing that timeline, and them putting that and Tulsa police putting out that timeline was another expression that the ones in Texas got it wrong. And I don't know. I really welcome your comments. I really welcome your comments on that. And Tim Williams, I'll get to your comment when we go to Comment Central. But the ideal of the police chief, and we're going to talk about that. When we come back, we're going to talk about Uvalde, and then I'm going to entertain your comments. What are we to do? Is the media to blame? There's a piece I want to talk about from the Atlantic, and I'll let you all be the judge on actually whether the police whether the media, is to blame. I'm going to enjoy my wine. This is Conscious Fever. You're listening to us on Conscious Fever Radio and ICE Entertainment Television. I am Carl Price, your host. When we come back, we're going to talk about the sad stuff in Texas. I just couldn't talk about it last week. Talking about 19 children dead, I couldn't do it. But I have the nerve to talk about it this week. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm in the house.
Okay, what do you see?
Nothing yet. Hold on. I think I just heard something. I'm heading upstairs.
Okay, I am almost there.
I'm in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It's not here.
What?
The gun's not here.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Cameron? Are you in there? Open the door. Cam! Come on, Cameron.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Hey, welcome back to Conscious Fever here on ICE Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I'm Carl Price, your host here on Conscious Fever Radio and ICE Entertainment Television. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're talking about the mass shootings, long overdue. So the question is, and the source here is The Atlantic and Elliot Ackerman. So this is an op-ed that appeared online on the site of The Atlantic. I thought it was really interesting. I just wanted to share it with everybody, give you something to think about as we try to do sometimes here on Conscious Fever. And part of the title was Our Narrative of Mass Shootings is Killing Us. Consider this. Civilization's oldest stories are war stories. For instance, from the Epic of Gilgamesh to the Aeneid, all of these attractions to war and to storytelling have often been entwined, right? We tell ourselves stories to impose order on chaotic events in our lives, to force a narrative into the inconceivable. And what's more inconceivable than slaughter, whether it arrives in the form of the Trojan War, the Holocaust, or the murder of 19 children by a teenage gunman in Uvalde, Texas. Mass shootings in America have started to adhere to a predictable, even ritualized sequence of events. We see the headlines, right? There's an initial estimate of the dead, which creeps upward as more details emerge, and we learn the name of the devastated community. Perhaps a day passes, maybe two, but the familiar argument soon surfaces as to whether the solution to the source of mass shootings is stricter gun laws or better mental health, as though the two are mutually exclusive. Simultaneously, we learn the grim details of the shooting itself. And at the center of those details is the protagonist, right? Of course, the shooter. In war, for instance, the victors write the history, placing themselves in the middle of the story as the good ones, the heroes. In narratives surrounding mass shootings, this dynamic is turned literally upside down. In Columbine and Sandy Hook, the bad guy sits as at the center of the narrative. In Uvalde, we already know, for instance, the name of the shooter. We know about his grandmother, about the truck he drove to the scene and crashed in a ditch, about the Facebook messages he posted before the attack, and about what his peers thought of him. We know more about the AR-15 he carried to the scene than the team of Border Patrol agents who killed him, right? We don't know those agents' names, but photos of the shooter have already graced the front pages of some newspapers. In a nation that worships celebrity and infamy is a form of celebrity, the stories we tell ourselves about mass shootings contribute to the phenomenon, right? What story does someone tell themselves when they decide to become a mass shooter? Grievance and alienation seem common themes, right? A classmate described, for instance, the Charleston, South Carolina Baptist church shooter as having a, quote, a darkness to his life, while a classmate said to the Newtown, Connecticut shooter that he just didn't really connect. The unmet desire on the part of many of these murderers to be at the center of a narrative as opposed to on its periphery is a unifying thread. Yes, easy access to firearms and a national mental health crisis contribute to the incidence of mass shootings. But we're already debating those issues vigorously, right? We pay far less attention to the ways in which our culture metabolizes narratives and makes sense of them. In poetics, remember, Aristotle defines stories as acts of imitation. He explains that storytelling comes naturally to people from childhood because imitation, for instance, quote, is how we learn our earliest lessons in life. The reason we delight in storytelling, according to Aristotle, is that we all enjoy understanding things, but the link between storytelling and imitation has created this worse fear and worse area of mass shootings across America. The next potential mass shooter is, right now, surely watching the coverage of Uvalde, right, in Tulsa. In 2015, researchers from Arizona State University and Northeastern Illinois University conducted a study, right? And this study surrounded mass killings and shootings. The researchers found a measurable increase in the likelihood of a second mass shooting for 13 days after an initial mass shooting. By the way, the Uvalde shooting occurred 10 days after the shooting in Buffalo, New York. They also determined that an individual school shooting, on average, incited 0.22 more shootings. That is, for every 5 school shootings, a 6th would take place that would not otherwise have occurred. Both social and traditional media were also found to drive this phenomenon, right? Some activists are trying to highlight this problem, which falls outside the typical left versus right ideology debate about mass shootings. Groups like No Notoriety, which was founded, by the way, by the parents of a victim of the 2012 mass shooting in Aurora, Colorado, advocate for responsible media coverage for the sake of public safety. The group's website promotes a 6-point media protocol that includes recognize that the prospect of infamy serves as a motivating factor, for instance, for other individuals to kill and inspires copycat crimes. Young people, particularly young men, often have a strong desire to be heroes. During the height of the Syrian civil war, the Pentagon stood up a task force to study and counter the Islamic State's online recruitment strategy. At the time, U.S. officials were struggling to understand the potency of these efforts, not just in the Middle East, but also in Western Europe. Despite the cultural isolation that many agreed Muslims felt in Europe, the Pentagon planners were puzzled as to why so many would abandon a relatively comfortable existence to flock to the Islamic State's banner and take part in this crazy crusade in the Middle East, right? So the answer to the question should have been obvious, particularly to American war planners. Despite the risk of death, despite the atrocities, the Islamic State was selling a story, offering young men the chance to be the protagonist, the hero, or even the anti-hero in a quest to create a new nation. The breathless and at times befuddled Pentagon statements on the Islamic State's recruitment practices were remarkable to read, when those practices hewed so closely to those of the United States military, which had persuaded an entire generation of young men like, for instance, like me in some instance, to fight a crazy crusade in the Middle East after 9/11 to create new democratic nations in the region. Watching the narrative take shape yet again around this latest mass shooter, a narrative in which he is the protagonist, is unsurprising. While an outcast living in a society that prizes notoriety will commit an atrocity that promises it is no great mystery, right? Is it possible to change this narrative, to tell a different story? After for instance, the July 2016 Bastille Day attacks in Nice, several French news organizations, exhausted by the string of mass killings in their country, shifted their coverage. They refused to reprint images from Islamic State propaganda or to publicize the name of the murderer. In an editorial titled "Resisting the Strategy of Hate," Le Monde announced that it would no longer publish photographs of the perpetrators of killings to avoid the potential effect of posthumous glorification. Now, no American media consensus exists on how to cover mass shooters. Is the French approach not worth considering? Although some American newsrooms avoid republishing the images and names of shooters, many others continue to do so. In a study on mass shootings and media frenzy, Jennifer Johnston a psychology professor at Western New Mexico University found that identification with prior mass shooters made famous by extensive media coverage is a more powerful push towards violence than mental health status or even access to guns. A heightened awareness of the narratives we apply to mass shootings need to be considered as a tool to combat this phenomenon, alongside attention to mental health and gun control. Murderous rage is not unique to America, but the expression of that rage is culturally determined and so requires cultural countermeasures. People, for those of you who don't know, a sickness is sweeping our land. One of its symptoms is these shootings. A certain subset of young men is trying to bring meaning to their lives through gun violence. Stories are where people have always gone to find meaning. We need to tell a different story. The current one is killing us. Carl Price, Conscious Fever, Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio, giving you something to think about. We'll be right back.
My village is vibrant, alive with the kinds of creators, makers, and visionaries that will shape us and our realities to come. Driven by the beats of new drums, this rhythm feels like alignment and divine timing. Our potential is now. Our stories are next. To be heard, to be known, to reimagine and remind we don't follow what's in or who's on. We define that, creating space and making a way out of none. We will always find one. Historically fact, because we are your village, your vibrance, and your future. Historically Black.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. Again, I am Carl Price, your host, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to talk about something a little bit more juicier. But before I get to talking about Monique, and I do want to make mention of this group here. Of course, you all know these 10. These are the mighty 10 who just happened to be grocery shopping in Buffalo, New York, a couple of weeks ago, and they were killed by a racist 18-year-old who was not mentally ill. If you have the capacity to understand that you want to kill people because of their skin color, you don't have a mental illness. So when we talk about gun violence and we talk about gun reform, please, please, please understand that we cannot continue to let lawmakers blame this on mental illness. Mental illness is not killing these people. These are firearms that are killing these people. And I just wanted to really just put that out there just so everybody knows. But anyway, I want to talk about Monique and D.L. Hughley before I get out of here. I'm not sure what happened to our clock tonight, but I'm going to do something to actually put it back up there. I don't know if I can, but anyway. Oh, yeah, I can. Here it is right here. Let me put my clock back up there so I know what time we need to get out of here. But listen, let's talk about Monique and D.L. Hughley. I know some of y'all have actually heard this. First of all, I do have a comment. Let me go to Comment Central. I don't know if this is going to work here. but I'm going to try. Let me go to Comment Central. Let me see if I can get my comments here. I'm going to let me cut that off right there, and let me just add this comment to the podcast. Oh, okay, there we go. Let me work on this, y'all. Just bear with me a second, because this is a different type of comment. But Tim Williams, thank you for your comments, sir. Says you totally agree, and I think I know what you're agreeing to, and you know, oops, I'm out of the camera, and of course, I totally agree as well. The mass shootings are a problem, and they always will be a problem. Now I'm going to go back here because I want to talk about. Let me get rid of your comment, Tim, because I want to talk about Monique and DL. What do y'all think about this? I mean, really, now is the time to comment. If y'all want to comment, I want y'all to just be honest. I mean, is Monique nuts, or is DL really? What is the right word? Misogynist, right? Is he really just one of those men who is still doing things here in 2022 in America to keep women at bay and not allowing women to progress, creating a glass ceiling above these women? According to Monique, he is. But according to him, he's not. Some interesting comments when they talked about it, and I'm going to try to, let me see if I can make some stuff happen here. If y'all just bear with me just a second. I'm going to try to get some stuff up here. But Monique was really interesting. Hey, how you doing? Okay. I almost got scared there, y'all. Somebody walked in to our studio here. But in any case, Monique, I'm going to show y'all a clip here that was posted on Twitter, okay? And hopefully this is going to work, but I'm going to show y'all this, and I just want y'all to check this out and give me your comments about this. Get out of the way. It's not letting me do what I need to do here. I know this always works this way, right? iPad. Okay. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, let me, I want to come back here. Bear with me, y'all. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Am I in the wrong one? What's going on here? Let's cross that out. Let's come back. Let's do it again. Okay, something's going on here, y'all. I don't know what it is. I'm going to work on it here real quick. 3. And let's go back to 4. Anyway, basically, Monique and D.L. Hughley are going at each other's neck. And I'm not sure why my system doesn't want to play, but I'm going to go back to live mode here. Anyway, Monique and D.L. are going at each other's neck. And I don't know who's right. I don't know if y'all know who's right. D.L. says he's got a contract to be the headliner. Monique says that she's got a contract to be the headliner. And Monique went out on stage in Detroit and just acted a fool. But it's almost like they're children. They're just going back. I mean, these are grown, professional, over 50 entertainers. And they're going back and forth with each other about who's right in this big debacle that happened in Detroit. I think it was last weekend, about who was the actual headliner. I don't know. Maybe y'all can educate me as to this headline and stuff. Who gets? What do you get if you're the headliner? Do you get extra money? Do you get extra notoriety? Do you get extra sponsorship? I'm not sure what that's all about. But the two of them were like really, really. See the right here. See the window. But anyway, do you get more money? Do you get more notoriety? Notoriety. I'm not speaking right. Let me take a sip of my wine. Do you get more accolades? I use that word, accolades if you're a headliner. But whatever it is, they both wanted it because they're really going at each other's neck and showing the contracts and all of that. And of course, DL's response is, Monique, you don't get along with anybody. So who in the hell is believing you that I'm the problem? You don't get along with anybody. And he just named off Oprah and all of these people. So I thought it was really interesting. Let me see if I have this clip up here. This is something that actually just won't play, and I don't know why it won't play. But I'm gonna actually get it back in there and try to see if I can get it to go again. But anyway, because I wanted y'all to see.
That's a bitch nigga.
There we go.
That's a bitch nigga. What kind of real nigga would ever attack a goddamn black woman? A bitch nigga. I feel sorry for D.L. Hughley's family. I feel sorry for his motherfucking wife. Because how do you suck the dick of a coward?
What? Did y'all hear what she said?
I tried to play fair, bitch. I tried to play fair, nigga. I tried to play fair. We was on the countdown, nigga. 10, 9, 8, 7, check.
Listen to this again, y'all.
Because at what time did black men start attacking black women? What kind of real nigga is that? That's a bitch nigga. That's a bitch nigga. What kind of real nigga would ever attack a goddamn black woman? A bitch nigga. I feel sorry for D.L. Hughley's family. I feel sorry for his motherfucking wife. Because how do you suck the dick of a coward?
Wow. Wow. So, what do y'all think they should be doing? I mean, like, seriously. I mean, don't y'all think that this is, I mean, you know, I'm a lawyer, so we have to argue in public and do all of that. But don't you think that some of this stuff can just be settled with the two of them sitting down? Or it's just a phone call or a text. This is probably not a text type of thing. Because when you're angry, you don't want to, you know, your thumbs can just go crazy texting. But don't you think it would be just this simple, just this simple, for the two of them, touch that, for the two of them to just sit down and say, listen, I got a problem. I mean, maybe she will sit down and say, hey, listen, I have a problem, and I need to let you know about what this problem is. And as I let you know about what this problem is, maybe we can, you know, work to try to resolve it, right? I mean, you would think that two grown people would actually do that, but apparently not these two. You know, not these two. I don't know. They say Monique has been a problem since Precious. Were y'all aware of that? I mean, she got an Oscar for her role in Precious. She was mean in Precious. She was mean. But Precious, you know, that was an autobiography. It was really, that was sad too. But the whole circumstances surrounding that. But man, I would just think that these two people could get with one another and say, hey, listen, I was supposed to be the headliner. I thought you were disrespecting me. And then maybe they can trade contracts, because apparently the real issue is with the promoter. It's not with each of them. So, I don't know. Just sometimes I just hate seeing men and women going at it, and particularly black men and black women going at it, especially high-profile black men and black women, right? And, you know, D.L. Hughley could just brush it off, but I guess that's not what you do, right? Somebody talks about you, you know, you want to make sure you swing back, you know, give a jab back, because of that. And I guess I understand that, but it's just immature. And they are going to be going at it until the next show. I saw something earlier when I was watching with D.L. Hughley, and I'm going to look and see if I can pull it up here. But with D.L. Hughley, and D.L. Hughley actually had, he was actually talking about Monique. I'm gonna try to see if I can pull this up. But he was on the show today, and he was actually talking about her. And Monique is just going. That one I can't show you because it's just an opposite one. But I mean, they've been going at each other, and I'm not sure if I understand why. So that's why I thought I would just bring it up tonight, just to see if y'all had any idea why the two of them feel like that they can still go at each other, or that they even need to go at each other. Let me go back. I don't want to go there. But I think Monique is still relevant. I mean, don't y'all think Monique is still relevant? I mean, I think Monique is still relevant. I don't know why. I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to put something else here. But I think Monique is still relevant. Oops, I hit the wrong one. I always do that, y'all. But I think she's still relevant. Do y'all think she's still relevant? I mean, I don't think that she is just washed up. I don't know, y'all. I don't know if y'all remember this, but in 2010, I was on. Monique used to have a talk show, and in 2010, she invited. I think it was 2010, 2011. She invited the Divine Nine presidents to come on, and she was really nice about it. Was very, very nice about it. Very, very, very pleasant about having us on the show and being very nice to us. But I always thought Monique was cool. And then we ran into her in Los Angeles at the Soul Train Music Awards. But I always thought she was cool. I always thought that Monique was okay. And so apparently, but she has a problem with Oprah. I'm not going to say that, because I definitely don't want her cussing me out. But it's alleged that there's been some issues with her and Oprah. There's been some issues with her and Steve Harvey. There's been some issues with her and some other folks. Obviously, you all know the issue that she raised with Netflix. Maybe Monique is just a strong black woman that is there in the moment. Y'all know what I'm talking about? About being there in the moment. Like when you have a disability, or when you're black, probably, some LGBTQ folks as well. But, sometimes when you're there in the moment, when you've been mistreated, right? You don't have to produce a whole lot of evidence. Being a black man sometimes in a white dominated profession, I can tell you sometimes you walk into places and when people are wondering if you're there or not. And that's not similar to what Monique and DL are going through, but I'm just saying that sometimes it's like when you're in the moment, and maybe that's what Monique felt. Maybe Monique felt that at that time and at that moment, she felt like what has been going on in the industry for a long time, which is it's a male-dominated industry, the entertainment industry, especially black comedy is male-dominated. There's been a few women, Cheryl. I always get on this show and my tongues get tied and I can't remember Cheryl, but Cheryl on the talk, Monique, of course, and a lot of other black female comedians that have elevated themselves to something more than just the black comedy circuit. It's not the Chitlin circuit, but it's kind of analogous to the Chitlin circuit years ago. It's just much, much better and much more profitable and much more inclusive. But when she's a woman and she's a black woman and she's gone through these bumps and bruises, just been a woman in a male-dominated black comedy field. And so, some of the concerns she has are probably legitimately approached or mentioned. So I don't know. I'm not sure if it's appropriate for anybody to judge it, but DL seems to think that she's just completely wrong about the contract, and And maybe they should have handled that differently. But anyway, discussions. I have now effectively had, I'm going to go back to another screen here because I want to do my due diligence here before I leave. Let me go back to the screen. Yeah. I've had enough wine now. This wine is really, really good. I wish I could step away and get the red bottle of wine that I got this from. But it's Moscato, and it's red wine Moscato, and it's really, really good. And I can't tell you the brand, or as we say in horse racing, the breeder. This is really good. I only get it on Thursday night because I'm not a drinker. I've had too many recovering alcoholic friends to really be a drinker, and so to see them go through what they go through, I don't want to go through that. But so I just do it on Thursday nights. But in any case, listen. The saga continues with these two. I don't know why. Maybe I think the way I think because I'm a lawyer. I just believe that at some point, it's easier. When you're a young lawyer, for instance, when I was a young lawyer, I just get my books, get my papers, get my briefs, and just walk into court, and I'm ready, this mouthpiece for my argument. But the older you get in the profession, you just say, can we just work this out? I don't know if the two of them can actually work it out. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. But at a minimum, I wish they will stop taking jabs at each other. Monique feels some type of way. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to air it to the public. What is the point in airing it to the public if you can have a private conversation with this man and work it out? And for a while, DL was taking the high road and saying, and then all of a sudden he just started hitting back. Although I think he hit back on the first response to the video. And he was on a show today or something, and he was going at her, said some things that not so nice things about her. So I don't know. I don't know what they do. Anyway, I'm Carl Price. This is Conscious Fever on Ice Entertainment. Okay. I will post that as a comment if it came up, but they're going to have to get to promote their bottle. I'm not really promoting their bottle, man. I'm just, I really like the wine. You're right. I can't talk about the brand unless I get paid. But then if I get paid from them, I can't get paid from YouTube and all these other places. This is really some good wine. It is not too tart. It is not too, it's sweet enough, far from being sour, because it's Moscato. And it's really good, man. I like it. I guess I should do my profile. How many of y'all have an iWatch, an Apple Watch? How many of y'all have these things? These effing things are annoying. When you get a text, when you get an alert from one of the social media platforms, your wrist just vibrates, and I swear to you, it is the most annoying. I've taken this watch off twice today. When I get a phone call in my office, it'll vibrate. And really it's my fault because I'm connected to all this SHIT. But the point is that these things are annoying. They're helpful sometimes. In a lot of ways, they're helpful. But these damn things are annoying. Everything. And then you get an alert, like this alert says time to stand. What do I want to stand for? I don't know, maybe that makes me healthy. Anyway, Carl Price, Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I want to say thank you all for joining me tonight. I don't know what's at the end here. Probably something that is not supposed to be there. I told you. And then this is going to come in. And I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go back to where I was. But Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio, I do appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I'm going to end this thing with the way I always do. See some people I know. Hey, Daryl Payne, how you doing, my friend? Thank you. I think you heard about the election. I finished second. Should have finished first. I won't go into detail why, but we'll talk someday, man. Teresa Johnson, Daryl Kraft, John Jawar. I see you all. I appreciate y'all stepping in tonight. Chuck Childress, Kane Mason, Tim Williams, Freeman Harden. And see, there it goes again. That says you did it. And see, I didn't do anything. It says a time to change, and it says you did it. So, but you get an alert for every damn thing, man, like on these watches, like an alert for every damn thing. And I guess there's a way that you can go into the settings and turn it off, right? Maybe I should do that. Anyway, but before I do that, I am going to get out of here. Hey, listen, I'll be back next week. I'm not sure if I want to be back my birthday week, but I'll be back next week just talking stuff. But remember what I said about the mass shootings. I think that we need to get to a point with these mass shootings where we focus only on the victims. Only on the victims. Just say, oh, it was a mass shooter. And if he kills himself, just say, oh, his ass is dead. Hey, KP, all is good. There will be other elections. Hey, yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Payne. I'll put that comment on Comment Central here. How about that? And maybe just make that big enough for everybody to see. KP, all is good. There will be other elections. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, fella, what you got up? Oh, somebody's texting me. But yeah, I agree, Daryl. I completely agree. But I don't know if I want to do it again, Daryl. That's the point. I don't know if I want to do that again because I really did it. I really did it because, to be honest with you, I did it because I just really thought that there was a time for us to have change. Oops, what did I do? I did something here, didn't I? I just thought that it was a time for us to have change, man. I really did. I really thought. I thought the time was right, and it was just crazy because people are so. And I said this last week. I don't know if you were here. I don't know if you heard it, but people are so disengaged, disengaged from. Oops, I gotta publish that. So disengaged from the political process. I mean, like, just completely, really disengaged from the political process, and because they are disengaged, that's just kind of the type of stuff that we just see. Was some fun with doing it. I'm not sure why I'm stalling, but but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of good people. I'm just not sure if I'm going to do it again. I don't know. I mean, it was going to be a pay cut for me, but I do believe, and this is one of the reasons I ran, and then I'll let you guys go. I do believe that we need politicians to get elected. And I don't know what label you want to put on them. I don't know if you want to call them progressives, or I don't know if you want to call. I don't know. I don't really get into all the names. It's really about what you're doing and what you have done, right? But we need politicians who will quit talking about that there's a systemic problem, and then they get in office and they don't do anything to unravel the systemic problems, right? If you know that there are, for instance, loitering charges or Jim Crow laws, and that's making this system have systemic problems, then why, when you get to office, why wouldn't you just simply work on changing that? And that's not the best example, but I'm just making that point. Why wouldn't you work on at least changing that? And it's the same with a lot of our black politicians, because I think black folks now, honestly, they are just tired of just electing black people and saying, I'm excited because this black person is running for office. I think they really want some substance. And there have been so many black politicians that have been elected, and they get there, and they just follow this same damn process that they criticized before they got into office. Oh, we need to do this, we need to do this. Oh, there's a systemic problem. But then you get into office, and you get on that train called systemic, and you work right along with the process. Somebody have said that often about black judges. Like black judges, it's like, we get a black judge there, things are going to be different because there's a different perspective. And then they get in there and they adopt all the shit that is causing the problems in the system, which we call systemic problems, and they do nothing to change it. So I can tell you that was one of the reasons that I ran. I was actually going to unravel some things, right? Because I know where they need to be unraveled. And we're always going to have a problem when we're okay with seeing news clips of black men being arrested and charged with violent crimes, right? And I probably shouldn't have said that without really getting into the details of it, but I don't have time to do that tonight. But I would tell you that there are some things in the system that needs to be unraveled. And I was willing to take a pay cut to try to get in there and unravel those things. And it's not just a one-man show or one-woman show. It's a cooperative thing. But I do criticize our black politicians and all of you who are running in November, black and white. If you're talking about change, you've got to be willing to change the system that is the source of the systemic problems. So many people told me on the campaign trail that the problems were systemic. And so many politicians talked about how we change that, but nobody's done anything. I can think of some of the judges who are sitting as we speak from the last election, and they talked about making changes, and they haven't made any damn changes. They're just running for other seats. In particular, I remember one that was talking about all the changes that she thought that needed to be made in the criminal justice system, and it appears, I may be wrong, but she just got in that seat and rode on that systemic train, and everything is still the same, and nothing has changed. And nothing would ever change until we get in there and start unraveling the system. It's just like a car. If you don't like the way this car drives, you got to get in there and change the transmission, adjust the brakes, adjust the steering column, evaluate whether the gas you've been using all these years is really the right gas. That's what you got to do. And so all the politicians that are saying that, we'll see. We'll see in January 2023 if you're really going to make a difference, on the platform that you're running. And I don't mean make a difference and do something different. I mean do something to the system systemically. To get in there and say, there's that systemic problem I was complaining about. Now I'm going to take the necessary steps to change it within. Because if you don't change the ground that we've planted the seeds in, then all this shit will continue to grow out of that ground. And that's the whole point. So anyway, I can go on forever. I can go on forever, but I won't, because I've got to get out of here. I'm Carl Price. This has been Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I'll see you next week.
What do you see? Do you see a kid from Compton? I see a bright future. I see a city where anything can happen, where legacies are built. LA is special. The star power, the ideas, the energy. Opportunity in this city could still be 1,000,000 miles away. But that never stopped us. Because we bet on ourselves. We bet on each other. And that's the power of LA. She's a city that favors the bold, the dreamers, the risk takers, the ones willing to put it all on the line. The future belongs to those who believe in something they can't see, but can feel. Anything can happen here. And whatever does, it belongs to those of us who are made in LA.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price on 97thebeatfm.com.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it is. Then I go to my brother. And I say, brother, help me please. But he wind up knocking back down on the knees. There've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able, Father, to carry on. And it's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. Yes it is. Said I know that a change is gonna come one day. I know a change